Thank you, Chair, and thank you so much, Dr. Adams, for your presentation and for being with us today. Senator Wells explored some of the lines of my questions, so I'll pivot a little. You mentioned Indigenous-led midwifery is one of the solutions to address this very troubling problem. And you noted that monies had been allocated to ensure that Indigenous-led midwifery is enhanced, encouraged. Even at this early stage, Dr. Adams, can you tell us if you see any progress in this particular field? Are more Indigenous women or men signing up to be midwives? And if not, what do you think the government should do with this $33.3 million to encourage that?
I'm so sorry, Senator Omidvar. I think we've had some technical issues and we've lost Dr. Adams. But okay. I wonder if either of the other guests would like to respond to your question.
I can take a stab at it. Thank you very much, Senator, for your question. I think that what we are seeing are some promising practices. So the $33.3 million announced as part of Budget 21 really did come late in last year. So that money is just now being allocated. But through the Budget 2018 investments that that Budget 21 builds off of, we've seen some really powerful demonstration projects, and the first first birth in an Indigenous community in 50 years happened last month in Sturgeon Lake First Nation in Saskatchewan. And so you're starting to see those midwifery projects actually come to fruition. It has taken some time, the infrastructure and the training and making sure that it's done in a culturally safe way has needed some time to mature, but those projects are being undertaken. Similarly, in the next little bit of time here, through the Inuit in Atlantic region, lots of promising practices around Indigenous midwifery or midwives being trained in Indigenous communities by other Indigenous midwives. And really the strength of those types of models are starting to be shown. And they are increasing the numbers of Indigenous midwives. I will say we do see some gaps in that, mainly access to education programs. First Nations University in Saskatchewan has a wonderful program, but access to it remains challenging, and having to leave a home community to access that training remains a barrier. We are, through that investment, increasing supports for communities where they can access different models or create their own model. We do appreciate, though, that the Budget 21 investments are a start. $33.3 million is a lot of money. Is it enough for every person to access the care that they should have locally? Probably not, but we are working towards it.
So, quick follow-up, Chair, if I have time. Ms. Hillier, would you like to see this next study on forced and coerced sterilization make a recommendation on continued investment and action on ensuring that Indigenous-led midwifery takes hold in this country? And if so, can you provide me or us with a few specifics on what that recommendation would look like?
So I do think, of course, we would like to see Indigenous midwifery expanded, and the scale to which it is offered in a safe way be accessible to as many communities as possible. We do anticipate, however, so the $33.3 million over the last fiscal year and the next 2 fiscal years is still, I would say, time limited in the sense that we do anticipate a return to cabinet at that point. So I also think that there is room for further opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.